again. I am rounding out the end of my trip, but we're going to keep Simply Sessions going. Nico is back with the latest and greatest in all of the Bitcoin news, and I'm going to fill you in on all the tech updates. Can't wait to get back home and do this live again, but in the meantime, I am Ben with the BTC Sessions. This is your Simply Session.
Hodl the Bitcoin.
Before we dive in, quick shout out to sponsors of the show, hodlhodl.com. If you're looking to buy Bitcoin and you've got a few priorities in mind, like peer-to-peer trading, instant self-custody, and no KYC, then Hodl Hodl is the place to go. Sign up with nothing more than an email address. Once you're in, scroll down, choose a currency, a payment method, and an amount, and you can start viewing offers immediately and stacking non-KYC sats. They also have a peer-to-peer lending market in which nothing is ever rehypothecated. Check them out today. Links are down below. Now, when you do stack some non-KYC sats, you're going to want to store it with some of the best damn hardware on the market, and CoinKite kills it. The Cold Card Mark IV is my hardware wallet of choice, and they have a ton of other great stuff that I use on the regular, like the Tap Signer, the Sats card, the Block Clock, the Open Dime, and coming out soon. I can't wait for the Cold Card Q1. It'll be out later this year. If you want to reserve it or pick up any of the other things I mentioned, head to coinkite.com, check out the store, and use code BTC Sessions for 5% off everything there. Now, of course, backing up any wallet that you may have, especially savings, is very important. And Seedor has one of the most robust steel backups on the market. The disc and capsule design will keep your seed safe from the elements, fire, water, corrosion, all of it. You name it, they got it. Their starter pack will get you set up with everything you need to back up and safely, securely store 2 full seed phrases. And of course, you can always order more capsules if you need them. Check them out. Links are down below, seedor.io. If you're looking to dive into more than just a single SIG for your savings plan, check out nunchuck.io. They have an assisted multi-sig program called Honey Badger. Basically, you can set it all up on a mobile device with things like the Tap Signer, the Cold Card, and a ton of other hardware options. Super simple. They walk you through the entire process. They will hold one key. You hold the rest of the keys. They are your signer of last resort. It also has baked in inheritance planning, so your sats get to your next of kin. And the whole thing, the cherry on top really, is that it's non-KYC. You don't need to give up your private information to set up and use this program. So go ahead, check them out. I also have a full tutorial on it. Links are down below. And finally, big shout out to Start9, your sovereign computing solution. You can basically use these plug and play devices to set up and run your entire Bitcoin stack, things like Bitcoin Core, Lightning, mempool.space. You can host your data, files, passwords, photos, even Nostr relays and clients. You can get beginner devices, entry-level devices, all the way up to what I'm running, which is the Start OS Server Pure, which is an absolute beast, and I love the thing. Anyways, be sure to check them out, start9.com. And with that, let's dive into the news.
Yo, welcome to another Simply Sessions. We're going to be holding it down while Ben's exploring Italy, all the nice places, eating the best food. There's a lot of news to cover this week, from Adam Back betting a fellow Bitcoiner on Bitcoin Twitter for Bitcoin to hit a certain price point by a certain day, and long-term hodlers are reaching all-time highs, and the Fed seems to be playing both sides. So much news to unpack. Let's jump straight in, no more delay. So let's start off with what I was saying earlier. Longtime Bitcoin hodler metric hits new all-time high. Goes on to say long-term Bitcoin holders now controlled a record of 14.599 million Bitcoin, according to data from blockchain analytics firm Glassnode. Over the past 7 days, the total balance held in these wallets has increased by 43,949 Bitcoin, or 1.274 billion in current prices. Long-term Bitcoin holders are addresses that have held coins for at least 155 days. According to Glassnode, previous research shows that this type of address is statistically unlikely to spend, and thus in Bitcoin slang assumed to be hodling. So absolutely bullish news. And quick little stat here, right? So let's round up to 15 million. 15 million minus 21, 6 million Bitcoin left. You can estimate that a couple million of those are lost. And just do the math. There's 57 million millionaires all around the world, and there's literally only, liquid 3 to 4 million Bitcoin to be available to be bought. Greg Foss says it all the time. It's just math. Do the math. It's freaking obvious. This is what absolute scarcity looks like. And this is why number go up does its thing. Anyways, in other news, Adam Back, who was originally cited in the Bitcoin white paper, he tweeted this out. He said, quote, miners need 98K or won't break even after next year's halving. And then he goes on to say, actually, the break-even price would be 58K. But the news here is Vikingo, he's famous for his line, stay solvent, said, do you want to bet? Me? And Adam Back agreed. So the bet is 100K by March 31st, midnight Zulu, or 100K sats, by the way. 1 million sats. I apologize. And if it's 100K by that price point, Adam Back gets 1 million sats. If it's not 100K by that price point, Vikingo wins 1 million sats. I don't know about you guys, but I'm on the side of Vikingo on this bet in particular. 100K by the halving, that seems very, very, very ambitious. Maybe Adam Back knows something we don't. Anyways, in other news, do you guys remember this? The infamous Bitfinex hackers that stole a ridiculous amount of Bitcoin. They put it on a Google Drive. I think it was like 120,000 Bitcoin. It was some ridiculous number. They got caught and they pleaded guilty today. So let's check out some of the news. It says a husband and wife whose eccentricities and alleged crimes earned them the nickname Bitcoin Bonnie and Clyde pleaded guilty to orchestrating a $4.5 billion money laundering scheme linked to the 2016 hack of crypto exchange Bitfinex. The couple, Russian-born tech entrepreneur Ilira Lichtenstein and Heather Morgan, an aspiring rapper who goes by the alias Razzlecon, were arrested in 2022 in what the Justice Department calls its, quote, largest financial seizure ever. On Thursday, as part of a cooperation deal with prosecutors, Lichtenstein and Morgan both pleaded guilty to charges of money laundering conspiracy. The presiding judge, Colleen Kotley, accepted their pleas. Until Thursday's hearing in Washington, D.C. federal court, neither Morgan nor Lichtenstein had been directly implicated in the hacking of Hong Kong-based crypto exchange Bitfinex. But the Justice Department now says Lichtenstein, quote, used a number of advanced hacking tools and techniques to gain access to Bitfinex network and was able to fraudulently authorize more than 2,000 transactions in which nearly 120,000 Bitcoin were transferred to a cryptocurrency wallet in Lichtenstein's control. Quote, Lichtenstein then took steps to cover his tracks and enlist his wife's help in laundering funds, prosecutors said. Since their arrest, the details of their lives have become something of a New York media sensation. The couple were known to walk their Bengal cat, Clarissa, on a leash in Manhattan. Wow. Talk about not being, low-key about stealing 120,000 Bitcoin. I think the article kind of speaks for itself. Like, I wish there was a video of her doing that. But yeah, it's very interesting. In other news, Tether wins the Bitfinex. Tether wins the lawsuit. This was like kind of a huge deal in 2017 that Tether was not backed one-to-one. It looks like they won their lawsuit, and the case was actually dismissed on the grounds that the plaintees or the people that sued Tether didn't have enough proof. That Tether was not backed by anything. So it's just interesting how this played out. I think a lot of people feared, that Tether wasn't backed. And, we're Bitcoiners at the end of the day, and I advocate for Bitcoin only, of course. But Tether plays a large part of the ecosystem, especially in developing countries, because they don't have US dollar accounts. So they trade against Tether. They don't trade against dollars in those countries. So it's just interesting how this played out. And remember, the Coinbase launched their own stable coin. I think it was called USDC. And when all these exchanges started blowing up over the last couple of months, it was actually USDC that was at risk, and it wasn't Tether. So it's just interesting. If I would have told you that in 2017, you would have laughed me out of the room. Anyways, in other news, Joe Rogan, one of the largest podcasters in the world, has yet to bring on a Bitcoiner on this cycle. And you can't say that it's because he doesn't know. Joe Rogan is based. He's awake. He gets 11 million average listens and views per episode of the Joe Rogan Experience. We know he's brought on Andreas Antonopoulos over the last couple of cycles, but he has yet to bring on Saylor, Bukele, Max Kaiser. They've done the rounds on Tucker when he was still on air, but for some reason, Joe Rogan has been avoiding Bitcoiners. So anyways, here's a clip that I think proves that Joe Rogan understands what's going on. Let's check it out.
So how do you feel about the government's digital currency that they're working on?
No fucking way. No way. That's what I think. I think that's checkmate. That's game over.
That is fucking checkmate.
Because if they apply that to a social credit score, if they decide somehow or another that you need some social credit score system and it's for the benefit of society, and they outline that they can, track your behavior and your tweets and all your things, and you get a score.
So it's not that Joe Rogan doesn't know. He knows, but again, you could be complaining about a CBDC and you could be complaining about the dangers, but if you don't present a solution, I feel like you're just crying wolf, right? Anyway, so here's Jimmy Song, and Jimmy Song actually came up with a pretty good idea as to why Joe Rogan hasn't done so. So Jimmy says, why Joe Rogan avoids Bitcoin discussions. Joe Rogan has sidestepped Bitcoin discussions for the past 7 years, despite previously hosting Andreas Antonopoulos multiple times. What's stopping him from inviting more Bitcoin enthusiasts? At the heart of it, Rogan simply may not be interested. Delving into Bitcoin discussions means wading into the relentless debates between Bitcoin and altcoin supporters. Every podcaster who touches on Bitcoin faces the pressure of giving equal time to altcoin enthusiasts. The tug of war is daunting, and Rogan likely prefers to sidestep it. Consider the case of Lex Fridman, who has faced criticisms from both sides for trying to strike a balance. It's why Rogan doesn't have anyone on to discuss abortion, for example. It's a controversial topic, and anyone you have on will destroy your standing with the segment that disagrees with you. Yet Rogan is an outspoken critic of fiat money, frequently discussing its flaws and potential for corruption. He acknowledges the problems with central bank digital currencies and even mentions Bitcoin in this context. His audience likely wants him to have guests on about this topic, and this is why he had Andreas on before 2017. But the Bitcoin narrative became more complex around 2017 with the rise of venture capitalists and altcoin advocacy. The so-called Scambrian explosion, Rogan's ignoring of Bitcoin is the result of this shift. He has a knack for sensing underlying issues, which has undoubtedly contributed to his podcasting success. Yet, Rogan's understanding of Bitcoin remains superficial. Until he fully grasps how it fixes the problem he sees, it's unlikely he'll feature a dedicated Bitcoin guest. While figures like Jack Dorsey and Adam Curry have tried to steer the conversation towards Bitcoin, Rogan refused to take the bait. It'll take a larger level of inflation or economic destruction for him to delve into the topic. The controversy will remain on Bitcoin versus altcoins, and that's not something he'll be able to avoid. He needs more conviction before he'll talk about it on his show, and that's not something he has yet. So instead of trying to bully him into having a guest on, just point out the obvious. Fiat money is the cause of a lot of the societal degradation. Whether he gets it sooner or later will be up to him. So very, very interesting stuff. I don't know what to think about this, but clearly he's been avoiding it. Like, that is for sure. But again, you complain about CBDCs, but at the same time, you're not pointing out the solution. So anyways, in other news, this is crazy. The Federal Reserve, so the system, the establishment, the central bank of the US that has the most to lose if Bitcoin succeed, has expanded their oversight of Bitcoin and shitcoin related activities at banks. It goes on to say, without professional approval. Apparently, there was already a law in the books that allows them to do this. The Federal Reserve says it will expand how it oversees the crypto activities of U.S. regulated banks. The move by the U.S. Central Bank falls under the, quote, Novel Activity Supervision Program the Federal Reserve introduced on Tuesday, which includes cryptocurrencies and additional emerging asset classes. It also covers applications of distributed ledger technology that have the, quote, potential for significant impact of the financial system. According to a published outline of the program's aims, regulators will, quote, enhance the supervision of novel technology, novel activities. such as crypto asset custody, crypto collateralized lending, facilitating crypto asset trading, and engaging in stablecoin / dollar token issuance or distribution. The program will also focus on distributed ledger technology and, quote, other technology-driven partnerships with non-banks to deliver financial services to customers. The program is designed to ensure the Federal Reserve said in documents Tuesday that the state member banks will, quote, place controls to conduct the activity in a safe and sound manner. Mind you, it sounds like so kosher and nice, but remember, these are the same people that, did not approve Caitlin Long's bank, Custodia. These are the same people that, are partially responsible for Operation Choke Point 2.0. So, and these are also the same people that recently announced the American version of the central bank digital currency, and it launched finally the Fed now, right? They say it's not a CBDC, but we all know they want a CBDC. The Biden administration has said it. They've said it. It's just interesting how all this is playing out. And this is a concept that we've brought up on Simply Sessions before. The same people that are tasked with regulating Bitcoin, regulating the industry, are also the same people that have the most to lose if the industry succeeds. So talk about misalignment of incentives. Will this stop Bitcoin? No, but could it be a pain in the ass? Absolutely. Anyways, this was your Simply Sessions. I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace out.
All right. Thank you, Nico, for coming at us from back home while I'm abroad. Let's dive into the tech updates. Something I'm very excited about. I mentioned it before. Zeus, their version 0.8.0 coming out soon. They just opened up the alpha builds to community supporters. That's anybody who's donated to Zeus before. If you've done so, you can reach out if you need access and get early access to the alpha build of Zeus version 0.8.0. Now, what is that? Basically, it is a Lightning node in your pocket, everything automated for you, and I'm very excited to see this. I love using things like Phoenix and Breeze and all those Lightning native wallets where the complicated bits are obfuscated to the background, and that appears to be what's going to be happening with Zeus here. So as soon as I get my hands on that, I will be doing a video on it, but I just wanted to keep you guys updated that you can get access to the alpha. I'm going to start playing around with it as soon as humanly possible. Of course, I'm still on the road, but I will be diving into that whenever I can. Up next, if you're on Orange Pill app, of course, I've been using it while I've been traveling, but they just have a new update for iOS and Android. You can now create and edit Bitcoin events right from the app. Also, if you are already a member of OPA, all of the meetup stuff there, everybody has access to the feature with no extra cost, unlike meetup.com. Just throwing it out there. Anyways, love some OPA, and if you haven't tried it out, give it a whirl. There's a lot of things that they've been adding to the app, and they're killing it. Anyways, moving on. Bitrefill. Oh, this is so great. They have added support for eSIM purchases. So eSIMs, if you're unfamiliar, basically, anytime you're traveling abroad, it tends to be, especially for me as a Canadian, much cheaper to just get a local SIM than to use your existing plan. Now, this may not be true of everyone. I know that people in the US often can travel pretty decently without having to do too much. In Canada, it is garbage. I called up my cell phone provider before I left, and I was like, there's got to be a better deal than what the existing thing is. No, the absolute best deal that I could get is they said it was going to cost me about $15 per day at any time I used anything while I was abroad. So, I'm sure I'd have access to my regular plan at home, but at the rate of $15 per day. For me and my wife to be here for, because we're traveling around quite a bit, 5 weeks, they said it was effectively going to cost us somewhere between $1,000 and $1,100 for 5 weeks just to use data. I was like, You know, the internet exists, right? Anyways, with an eSIM, which is what I'm using right now, although Bitrefill didn't have it at the time, basically you get a virtual SIM on your phone that replaces the other one without having to take out your SIM card, and then you use that while you're abroad. It cost me, I think, something like $37 for 10 gigs of data, and you can top up anytime you want. So I just did that. But this, if I can pay in sats, fantastic. Even less steps. I don't have to give up credit card info. I can do it from anywhere. This is a game changer for me. So stoked to see Bitrefill add eSIM purchases natively from their website. And I will be using that plenty in the future. Let's keep going. Bitcoin Keeper. This is an app that I have yet to fully dive into, but everything that I've been seeing, I've been thinking that they're doing a really good job. And I think they are actually a competitor to Nunchuk, and I love Nunchuk, of course, but you know, these guys are also appear to be doing really, really good work. And my favorite thing about it is that the Keeper guys and the Nunchuk guys are friendly with each other, and they don't need to like crap on each other's work, and they can coexist peacefully and just, you know, do good jobs together. Anyways, so Bitcoin Keeper, it's a Bitcoin multi-sig wallet with privacy and inheritance features. They added collaborative wallets. Everything is now open source. They also have an assisted inheritance key and more. So yeah, the code is open source. We continue to improve it, keep the feedback coming. Product is in beta. Make sure to have a backup. Some of the latest updates for the Keeper wallet include collaborative wallets are introduced, so you can basically create a multi-sig wallet amongst various parties within the app. They added the assistant's inheritance key. They have inheritance support documents. They also have dark mode. Code has been open source, the ability to hide hot wallets, improvements, bug fixes. There's a whole bunch of stuff that they've been doing. Nonetheless, they also have Whirlpool built in, which is super cool to see another mobile wallet supporting privacy features like that. Anyways, I plan on diving into Keeper when I get home as well. I've got a laundry list of things to touch on. Anyways, let's keep going. Vault, a free and open source Nostr password manager. This is an interesting one. And it's cool, but at the same time, I'm like, I don't know if I want that or not. It is a decentralized password manager where your passwords are encrypted by your keys and stored on relays. I don't know. Anyways, so Vault utilizes zero-knowledge encryption to safeguard your data while storing it on Nostr network for enhanced resilience. The Vault saves all your passwords and notes securely by encrypting your data twice. Once with your secret key, like your Nostr NSEC, and once with your passcode. So you'd have your secret key and an additional password that encrypts them with both and then stores them on relays so that you've got the redundancy there. Your data are not stored on any centralized server. Again, a set of relay servers, which is what Nostr is. This means that it is resilient to attacks and that you are the only one who can access your passwords. Security experts recommend that you use different randomly generated password for every account that you create. Of course, the Vault makes this easy. Now, this comment from Dick Butt, eloquently named Dick Butt, says, "Man, that is a high risk, high reward project. Great when it works, but if something fails, your passwords are really out there, bro." And yeah, like if something were to go awry, your passwords are basically out there on relays everywhere for anybody, and you don't have the ability to take them down. They're really just there. So hopefully that encryption works well. That's why I'm kind of like, I get it, and I get the double encryption, but I'm still like, it's still there and unable to be taken down. Yeah, I don't know. I think I still lean towards personal server encrypted with a passphrase, but anyways, we'll see. Anyways, moving on. Iris has received half of the Human Rights Foundation's secret Nostr group chats bounty. So what is this? The HRF has determined that Iris Secret Chats by Marty Malmy partially qualifies for bounty number 3, which is encrypted Nostr group chats, and will receive 1 Bitcoin of the reward. It is a quick and dirty solution, but it works. A shared Nostr account is created for the secret chat and group. Its NSEC can be shared via link, QR code, or invite message from a single-use anonymous account. Basically, the long and the short of it is the Human Rights Foundation has put up a whole bunch of different Bitcoin bounties for Bitcoin and Bitcoin related technologies that can help human rights activists that are in adversarial situations. And one of them was a bounty to create a secret group chat that is all encrypted. And it looks like, again, Iris, which is a client for Nostr, has at least partially done that. Now, the reason they didn't get the full bounty is because it was specific to Iris, that client, and wasn't just cross-compatible with everybody. So basically, the second half of the bounty will go to whoever can basically take that and make it cross-compatible with everything on Nostr. That's awesome. I love that HRF is doing these bounties. I think it's huge. I think it's very helpful. And they actually went and consulted with human rights advocates for what they actually needed out of Bitcoin apps, out of Nostr apps, out of things like that. And I guess this is one of them. So yeah, I want to see more of this. Anyways, let's keep going. I wanted to highlight this. I saw something earlier on this week, and a guy named Plamen, I'm going to butcher his name a little bit. I'll do my best. Plamen Andanoff. Anyways, he is a YouTube creator, a Bitcoin YouTube creator, and he had his channel just taken down. I think he ran it for 4 years. Anyways, he said, or 3 years, sorry. My YouTube channel of 3 years with 23,500 subscribers, 400 solar streams, and 100 podcasts was deleted by Team YouTube 4 days ago. This was as of August 4th, so it's been 8 days since that. The reason? My Bitcoin content promotes illegal activities. Don't hold your own keys, as that's considered illegal apparently. I am the voice of Bitcoin in my home country, Bulgaria. With just shy of 7 million citizens in Eastern Europe, Bulgaria needs Bitcoin as much as any other country. I've devoted the last 3 years of my life to orange pilling fellow Bulgarians. We went through hyperinflation in 96 and 97, removing 3 zeros from our currency, so we're all familiar with the corrosion of fiat. It goes on, but basically, he submitted a review. They basically said, tough shit, we're getting rid of it. They even replied on Twitter and said, we forwarded this info to the relevant team and confirmed that the channel will remain suspended for harmful or dangerous content policies. Again, he didn't even get strikes. The way it's supposed to work in their own policies is you get 3 strikes and then your content is removed. His was just removed. Nonetheless, yeah, I replied, I said, this is actually insane. How is anyone supposed to deal with 0 strike channel takedowns properly? No way to prepare, correct, or understand what even happened. Also, how does a Bitcoin channel severely violate policies? How is a global ledger harmful or dangerous in that way? Yeah, sure, maybe to central banks, but nonetheless, yeah, the main point of this is this needs more pushback. Nostr is fantastic for streaming and stuff like that. I'm hopeful that there's gonna be things that come along that have the network effects that just make YouTube irrelevant anyways in the future when it comes to stuff like this, so people won't have to be worried. You can now upload full length videos to Twitter, there's Rumble, there's things like that, but like, we've still got to be real right now. If you're trying to capture newcomers that want to learn about Bitcoin, if they're looking for video, they're going to YouTube. And if you're not on YouTube, they're not going to see it. And what are they going to see? Probably a whole bunch of other shitcoin channels that are just pumping scams anyways. And that's unfortunate. All of the scam streams and stuff like that, they tend to just somehow make a pass. But you get legitimate people that are just trying to educate people on Bitcoin taken down. I had a couple scares in the past. Luckily, it was just the algorithm being crappy and I got reinstated. Part of it was enough people were able to make enough of a fuss. But it doesn't seem like this is the case for Plowman, and that's unfortunate. Either way, reach out to him, try to follow him on Twitter and other avenues, and maybe start watching on alternative platforms as well. Maybe start watching live streams through Nostr, heading over to Rumble, whatever you can. I'm trying to stream to other options as often as possible. This content, my Why Are We Bullish, all of that stuff does stream to lots of other places outside of YouTube. The tutorial content tends to mostly live on YouTube, but I also have backups of it. But yeah. We've got to start hedging against stuff like this, and I'm hoping that competition from things like X or Twitter or whatever at least keeps them in check, and in the meantime, then we can build some more decentralized options. But this sucks for him, and I feel that pain. So, hey man, sorry to hear. Let's keep going. Just wanted to let you guys know earlier this week. Far back at the beginning of the week around Monday, I dropped a tutorial on Bull Bitcoin non-KYC via the Canadian Post Office. You can actually take cash to the Canadian Post Office and buy Bitcoin without KYC. Only available to Canadians. Sorry Americans, sorry Europeans, but if you're Canadian, give it a watch. It's pretty sweet. I've got to say, it worked very well. Worth checking out. Also, just on another personal note, I'm going to be back in LA for Pacific Bitcoin this year in October. Very much looking forward to it. I'm going to be talking. I'm going to be doing some stuff. And I'll see you there. I don't want to drop any details about what I'm doing yet, but could be fun. Anyways, and then finally, the other day, I had a live stream, Why Are We Bullish, with Jacques Mozuko, Roman of Block Trainer, and Yoni Appelberg. He's the author of Abundance Through Scarcity. Damn, it was a good chat. I really enjoyed it. So check it out if you have not seen it already. It was a lot of fun. Anyways, guys, we're going to wrap it up there. Thank you so much for watching and or listening if you're listening to it on the pod afterwards. Of course, do like, subscribe, share, all those things. They really help a ton getting this content in front of more eyeballs. You can also hit the previously mentioned sponsors. They're all in the show notes down below. You can also, if you really liked what you saw, head over to my website, btcsessions.ca. There's a ton of free information. And of course, if you need a little bit more hand-holding with any of the tutorials, you can book me for one-on-one sessions there. And if you absolutely loved everything that you saw here, you can also, on the same website over on the right hand side of all of the options in the menu above, there's something that says tips, and that will take you to my personal tip page where you can send over sats in whatever fashion you like, lightning, on chain, whatever. You can send me $1, you can buy me a coffee, you can help me run my voltage node, pay for my streaming software, hardware that I need to cover and review, or just pick your own adventure, whatever you like. It's all there, and I really do appreciate those of you that have dropped sats. I know that they're precious. Anyways, guys, have a wonderful day or evening wherever you may be. I'll see you guys next time for your daily session.
Hodl the Bitcoin.